My name is Leah Tukey. I'm the Curator of History at the New Mexico Farm and Ranch Heritage Museum. The exhibit is called Home on the Range, From Ranches to Rockets, and it is the story of the ranchers who lived on White Sands Missile Range and the scientists and the military personnel who lived there and worked there after. When you walk into the exhibit, you are exposed to the life of the ranchers on the range before World War II. There were many ranchers who lived out on White Sands Missile Range before it was a missile range. They were raising cattle, they were raising goats, some sheep. It was hard to get water, it was hard to provide food sometimes, but it was a good life. People that lived out there and were ranching, and that was their property, and they loved their land like ranchers everywhere. And so they had a good life, though it was difficult and challenging. This exhibit is unique because most of the time our exhibits are based on rural life and agriculture in New Mexico, but this is a story that also talks about the science and technology and the military aspect of White Sands Missile Range. Most people that you talk to, they know the story, they think they know the story of White Sands Missile Range. They think they know about the ranchers who lived out there. They think they understand what happened. You know, some people will say, the government stole the ranchers' land, the government did this, the government did that, the ranchers were kicked off their land. And some people will say, well, it was the right thing to do, it was the war, we had to do what we did. This exhibit tells the deeper story. It tells both sides of what happened to those ranchers at White Sands Missile Range. And I think that's what's important, is to tell both sides of the story and to be fair to both sides as well. The Farm and Ranch Heritage Museum is located at 4100 Dripping Springs Road in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Our phone number is 575-522-4100, and you can find us on the internet at nmfarmandranchmuseum.org. This exhibit would have been difficult to curate if I hadn't had so many good resources. I had a lot of help from Jim Eccles, Public Relations Officer at White Sands for 30 years, and he wrote a book, Pocketful of Rockets, which I used as a resource. He was my co-curator on this exhibit. So with his help and with the help of HSR and the information they collected back in the 1990s, we were able to do this exhibit and make it as successful as it is. Well, I hope that visitors walk away from this exhibit with new knowledge of what life was like for those ranchers, the things that they did in order to provide water for their livestock, the kind of livestock they raised, the lives that they led, all different aspects of life on the ranch in the early 1900s. But then I also want people to learn the reasons why the military came to southern New Mexico, took up residence on this property, built a missile range, built a testing ground. And I want people to leave knowing the accomplishments of the military and the scientists that were there and all the important things that came out of White Sands Missile Range. The space race, space travel, going to the moon, all of that starts at White Sands Missile Range. And that's an important part for people to learn as well.